The phone call came at 2:47 a.m., shattering the silence of my cramped apartment like a gunshot. "Zara, it's about your mother. She's gone." The nurse's voice cracked over the line, laced with that professional sympathy that felt like sandpaper on raw skin. "Stroke," they said. Unexpected. No warning. My world tilted, the room spinning in the dim glow of my bedside lamp, the air thick with a metallic tang of panic sweat. Mom Elaine Cole, the unbreakable force who'd built an empire from nothing, was dead. Fury surged first, hot and irrational, at the universe for stealing her without a fight. Then heartbreak crashed in, a tidal wave drowning me in memories. Her laugh echoing in our old basement office, her hands guiding mine over spreadsheets when I was just a kid. But as dawn bled through the curtains, resentment festered. How dare she leave me like this, unprepared, in a world that already saw me as less? Denial wrapped around me like a shroud as I drove to the hospital, the city's neon lights blurring through tear-streaked windows, the hum of tires on wet pavement a monotonous dirge. This couldn't be real. Mom was invincible, the woman who'd stared down boardrooms full of skeptics and turned Cole and Crescent into a financial powerhouse. By the time I arrived, the sterile scent of antiseptic assaulted me, mingling with the faint floral notes of her perfume still clinging to her lifeless form. I touched her hand, cold, unnaturally still, and guilt gnawed. Had I called enough? Visited more. Obsession flickered to life, a dark seed planting roots. I'd make sure her legacy endured, no matter the cost. The funeral was a blur of black suits and murmured condolences, the church's wooden pews creaking under the weight of insincere grief. Victor Kane, Mom's deputy for a decade, stood at the podium, his voice smooth as oil. Elaine was a visionary, irreplaceable. His eyes met mine, a smirk twitching at his lips, subtle but there, like he was already measuring her throne for size. Anger simmered beneath my skin, layered with humiliation. I was her daughter, her protégée, yet here he was, positioning himself as the heir apparent. Inner thoughts raced. He's always hated sharing the spotlight. But Mom trusted him. Or did she? Doubt crept in, moral conflict stirring. Was I paranoid, or was that smirk a promise of betrayal? Back at the office 2 days later, the boardroom air hung heavy with polished mahogany and stale ambition. The board, 6 gray-haired men who'd ridden Mom's coattails, convened, their leather chairs sighing as they settled. "Zara, per Elaine's will, you're interim president," the chairman intoned, his tone patronizing, as if handing a child the keys to a candy store. Victor leaned back, arms crossed, that smirk returning full force. "Interim, Mart. We need stability." His words dripped manipulation, revealing his hidden motive, to undermine me from day one. Heartbreak twisted sharper. Mom had groomed me for this, late nights poring over risk models, her voice firm. "Numbers don't lie, Zara. People do." Yet here I was, facing doubt from her own inner circle. The hook came that afternoon. I sat in Mom's office, now mine, the leather of her chair cool against my back, the faint scent of her jasmine tea lingering in the drawers. Victor burst in without knocking, a stack of papers slapping onto the desk like a gauntlet. 25 resignation letters, names of key staff, analysts, managers, even the IT lead. "They don't believe in you, Zara," he said, voice laced with feigned regret, but his eyes gleamed with triumph. "If you're the boss, I quit too. This place needs real leadership." Shock jolted through me, fury igniting like wildfire. Humiliation burned my cheeks. These were people I'd grown up around, whose weddings Mom had attended. Resentment boiled. Victor had orchestrated this, whispering doubts, leveraging loyalty he'd never earned. I stared at the letters, fingers tracing the crisp edges, inner journey plunging into denial. This isn't happening. Mom wouldn't let this. Fantasies of justice flashed, slamming the door in his face, exposing his mediocrity. But doubt held me back. Was I ready? Fear whispered of failure, moral conflict raging. Revenge would make me like him, petty and power-hungry. "Good," I said finally, voice steady despite the storm. His smirk faltered. Good. I met his gaze, cold resolve forming like ice in my veins. You've just shown me who to replace first. He laughed, but it rang hollow, tension coiling in the room like a spring. You'll crash and burn, kid. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving me in silence broken only by the tick of Mom's antique clock. That night, in my apartment, rain lashed the windows, thunder rumbling like suppressed rage. I paced the worn hardwood floors, the chill seeping through socks, obsession taking hold. Inner thoughts brutal. He's been sabotaging for years. Leaks to rivals, padded expenses. Guilt pricked. Mom had suspected, confided in late-night calls, but I dismissed it as stress. Now planning began quietly. I booted my laptop, the screen's glow casting shadows on walls lined with financial texts. Digging into company logs, subtle hints emerged. Unauthorized accesses traced to Victor's IP. Suspense built slowly, each discovery a breadcrumb, a $50,000 transfer to a shell account, backdated. Fear gripped. If I confronted too soon, he'd bury me in lawsuits. Kem, my assistant, a sharp-eyed woman Mom had hired from obscurity, slipped into my office the next morning, coffee steam curling in the air. "Zara, watch your back," she whispered, voice natural but edged with worry. "Victor's rallying the old guard. Says you're too green." Dialogue revealed secrets. Her own resentment toward him for blocking her promotions. "I've got files. Emails he thought deleted." Her hands trembled slightly, moral complexity shining, loyalty to Mom clashing with fear of reprisal. "Why help me?" I asked, tension heightening. He shrugged. "Your mom saw potential in me. He sees threats." Our alliance formed, quiet and strategic, foreshadowing the gray decisions ahead. Weeks dragged, pacing deliberate to build tension. I attended meetings, Victor's smirks constant, his jabs veiled. Zara's fresh ideas are quaint. Humiliation layered with anger, inner conflict peaking. Strike now or gather more. Fantasies evolved, not violence but ruin, exposing him publicly, watching his empire of lies crumble. One evening, tailing him discreetly from the office garage, the scent of exhaust thick, I watched him meet a rival exec at a dimly lit bar, glasses clinking over hushed deals. Obsession deepened, guilt fading as evidence mounted. A breakthrough came via Mom's sealed folder, discovered in her safe, the combination her birthday, a poignant reminder. For Zara when it's time. Inside. Directives granting me full override. Notes on Victor's discrepancies. Heartbreak surged. She'd known, prepared me silently. Resolve hardened. I met Kem in a park, leaves crunching underfoot, autumn wind biting. "We expose him piecemeal," I said, voice low. She nodded, eyes flickering with doubt. This could backfire. Suspense simmered, her words echoing my fears. As part one closed, the board meeting loomed, Victor's confidence peaking. I reviewed the dossier in bed, lamplight pooling on pages, thunder outside mirroring my turmoil. Denial gone, planning solid, the slow burn of vengeance ignited. The boardroom pulsed with anticipation, the long table gleaming under recessed lights, the air conditioned to a crisp chill that did little to cool the rising heat in my chest. Victor entered last, espresso in hand, that infernal smirk plastered on as he took his seat. "Q4 looks solid," he began, projecting slides with a clicker, his voice booming with false authority. I waited, quiet calculation my weapon, inner thoughts a whirlwind. He thinks he's safe. Let him. Subtle hints of tension emerged, board members shifting, glances my way. Then I interjected. "Victor, explain the $1.8 million dip in Portfolio 4C. No trades logged." His hand paused mid-gesture, the projector humming like a trapped bee. "Glitch," he muttered, but his eyes darted, betrayal sent sharp in the room. I slid the audit report across the slick surface, papers whispering against wood. "Not a glitch. Unauthorized transfer. Your login." The room inhaled collectively, suspense thickening like fog. Victor's face paled, moral complexity revealing. Not a cartoon villain, but a man driven by envy, resenting mom's success, justifying theft as evening the score. "This is absurd," he blustered, voice cracking. Dialogue natural, suppressed rage bubbling. "You're grasping, Zara." I clicked to the evidence slide, IP traces glowing. Care to explain to the board? Fear flickered in his eyes. His own doubt mirroring mine from weeks ago. Post-meeting, Kem handed me the USB in the hallway. Fluorescent buzz overhead, her whisper urgent. Emails to Apex. Client lists leaked. Obsession gripped tighter. Fantasies of justice now plans. But guilt resurfaced. Exposing him would ripple. Jobs at stake, families affected. Moral conflict tore. Am I avenging mom or destroying innocence? Cold resolve won. He'd chosen this path. That night, rain drumming on my roof, I pored over the drive, screen light etching lines on my face. Hidden files revealed his startup scheme, using our data as seed. Resentment peaked. He'd mocked my grief, smirking at my interim title. I didn't strike immediately. Slow burn demanded patience, tension rising in quiet moments, Victor's increasingly frantic emails. "We need to talk," ignored. I restructured subtly. New controls, approvals routed through me. Watching him squirm in meetings, his jokes falling flat. One lunch in the cafeteria, plastic trays clattering, he cornered me. "Zara, let's bury this. For Elaine's sake." Manipulation dripped, revealing desperation. "You mean for yours?" I replied, voice even rage veiled. He leaned in, breath coffee sour. "If you push, I'll drag you down." Threat heightened suspense, my heart pounding, but I smiled. "Try." Alliance with Kem deepened, her own layers emerging. Resentment from Victor's harassment, hidden until now. He blocked my raise, said I was too ambitious. She confessed over coffee, steam veiling her face. Moral grayness stark. Her help stemmed from vengeance too, not pure loyalty. "We end him," she said, eyes fierce. Planning accelerated. Dossier expanded. Affidavits gathered discreetly. Fear loomed, lawsuits, backlash. But obsession drowned it. The climax built at the pivotal board meeting. Atmosphere electric. Storm clouds gathering outside, mirroring inside. I presented calmly, slides unveiling leaks, transfers, a recorded call where Victor sneered. "Zara's a kid. The firm's mine." His voice echoed, damning. The board erupted in murmurs. Victor slamming fists on table, wood vibrating. Lies. But evidence was ironclad. The chairman's verdict. Terminated. Effective immediately. Security escorted him out. His shouts echoing down marble halls, a visceral payoff of humiliation mirroring mine. Fallout was chaotic. Press whispers, client jitters, a $1.1 million hole to patch. I worked relentlessly, office lights burning late, the hum of printers my companion. Rebuilding brought inner peace, heartbreak easing as staff rallied. Tasha's team thriving under new mentorship. Yet guilt lingered, Victor's family, his downfall's wake. A year on, his letter arrived, paper crumpled, ink smudged. "I underestimated you. You were the hurricane." Poetic justice, but twist struck. Kem confessed, recording our plans, insurance against me. "I had to protect myself," she said, eyes conflicted. Betrayal's cycle, psychological impact deep. Had I created another Victor? In the end, standing in Mom's restored convertible, wind whipping hair, I drove past the office, top down. Unexpected consequence. Revenge hadn't healed, but transformed me. Stronger, wary. The smirk that started it. Erased. But shadows remained. A resonant reminder of gray lines crossed.